New Shadowverse cards, let's talk about it. Osiris, Shadowcraft Legendary. Fanfare, give another allied follower last words, draw a card. Whenever this follower attacks, gain 2 shadows. Last words, and evolve. Necromancy 5, Reanimate 3, and Reanimate 1. I don't think this really outperforms anything in its slot. Like, at the 4-point slot, I feel like Orthrus probably outperforms it, nearby as well. Ran makes it into decks over this card. The Fanfare, in its unevolved form, I feel like is kind of ineffectual when you have Andrealphus and Soul Conversion at your disposal already. Although Starforge Legends is rotating out, so we'll see. But, you know, not sold on that. And the whenever this follower attacks, gain 2 shadows effect also seems really unimpactful. The last words, Necromancy 5, Reanimate 3, and Reanimate 1 is a little more enticing, but the 3 and 1 slots are less good than the 2 slots for Shadowcraft right now, I feel like. Like, Lady Grey's Reanimate and Skull Ring's Reanimate effects. Like, at 1, you're getting Gremory, I guess, which is okay, maybe. And Reanimate 3, like Omen of Silence. I guess you could Reanimate 2 drops anyway, but then you're also paying 5 shadows for this effect. And it's a last word, so it could get stolen by wayward Octresses. I don't know. Not a big fan of this card. Trill, Devilish Idol, Bloodcraft, 4play.33, Fanfare, choose, put either an Aza and Iza Feline Maids or a Demon Song into your hand. Aza and Iza Feline Maids, Fanfare, evolve an allied Trill, Devilish Idol, last words, restore 2 defense to your leader. Or Demon Song, 3 play point spell, deal 2 damage to all enemy followers. If an allied Trill, Devilish Idol is in play, deal 3 damage instead. The card seems really powerful and quite flexible as well. 4play.33, you can play it on your turn 4. You can use it to get you an early board clear to help you deal with the opposing threats so you can continue to smork face, or later on in the game as a controlling tool. Or you can just use the Aza and Iza to either just give you more followers in play in the early game, as well as being able to evolve your Trill to smork for 5 for free. Or later on as well, all at once, at 6 play points, you can play Trill, Devilish Idol, and then Aza and Iza, and then essentially have a 5-5 with a Rush, and a defensive attrition tool as well. And Restoration of Health is becoming dangerously frequent, I feel like, in Bloodcraft. This card seems really strong. I will say, though, it's kind of funny that they're already taking Portalcraft's idol shtick and putting it somewhere else. You gotta feel bad for my boy U1. Liza, Queen of the Forest, 3.13 Forestcraft Legendary. Fanfare, randomly put one of the lowest cost Forestcraft followers from your deck into your hand. Last words, at the start of your next turn, randomly put one of the highest cost Forestcraft followers from your deck into your hand. It's kind of weird that this better statted singer is a legendary, but it's a pretty good card for Forestcraft. It's a card that can draw Roach and Sky Devouring Horror. Really is Queen of the Forest. Yeah, it's a higher statted singer that tutors for Forestcraft, and it works with a lot of what Forestcraft wants to be doing. Seems like a pretty damn good card. Assault Priest, which, now that I've said it out loud, is probably the least fortunate name in Shadowverse. Oh boy, that's horrible. 5.44, Ward, Fanfare, draw a card, Evolve, doesn't have Ward, Evolve, destroy an enemy follower that attacked last turn. This whole doesn't have Ward and Evolve thing is like a new Havencraft theme that kind of came out of nowhere, like with Hasten as well, right? Looks like a pretty solid beefy dude, draws you a card. Kind of vanilla, let's be honest, kind of heavy for the non-evolve effect. And even on the evolve effect, it's just like, because it also loses some of its benefits, despite being able to remove a follower. And I feel like there's a lot of competition in the 5-drop slot right now, like with Tenko Shrine and Serenian Hind, although I suppose Starforge Legends is rotating soon. I don't know, I feel like right now, what my mind jumps to when I look at this card is like Miarabane and Omen of 1 stuff, right? Like, it's a pretty good body, draws you cards in Omen of 1, which is always good. And it removes stuff, and it stacks well with the Miarabane effect. I don't know, I feel like if you want to play like Jerry Haven, then this might be the card for you right now, is what I'm thinking. Not so certain on the other archetypes, though. Lukina of the Resistance, 2.22 Fanfare, give all allied Portalcraft followers the following effect. Can't be destroyed by spells and effects. Can be destroyed by damage from spells and effects. I feel like most of the time this will just end up being a normal 2.22 follower, right? Like, what are you trying to preserve exactly? I guess you can pop it in and deny a Clutch Fiery Embrace or Seraphic Blade. Seems really situational, though. Not entirely certain on this one. I feel like most of the time it won't end up making a big splash, unless you can be absolutely certain that you're intercepting one of the few removals that don't rely on damage, like White Frost Whisper and the rest of them. You know, like I said, Fiery Embrace, Traffic Blade. But I feel like a lot of classes have ways to just go around this, and if not, then I feel like you're maybe in a winning position anyway. But who knows, depending on the meta, this could be a good tech. but currently in rotation, not really seeing it. Greya, Mysterian Dragoness, class, Runecraft. Runecraft? Excuse me? Trait Mysteria? What? Hey, what happened to the old Greya, okay? Who was a dragon craft follower, it says right there. You've betrayed us. 3.23 ward. Evolve, choose, put either a Greya's Ember or a Greya's Inferno into your hand. Greya's Ember being a 1 play point spell, deal 3 damage to an enemy follower, okay. And Greya's Inferno, 3 play points, deal 1 damage to an enemy follower 5 times. Oh boy. Yeah, those are pretty good. And this is just a vanilla statted 3-drop with ward as well. Like, that's pretty solid, man. It's a shame that you changed classes there, because I think this card is very, very good. Very strong. Really good removal. And, no, cheap spells are good in Rune. Removal is good in Rune. Defensive plays are good in Rune. Good all around. And last one off the Twitter page for now, Magnolia, Battlefield Muse, Swordcraft Commander Legendary, 5.15 at the end of your turn, give +1/+1 to all allied officer followers. 5.15, +1, end of turn. This is a windstorm, Evolve, put a random follower that costs 2 play points and a random follower that costs 1 play point from your deck into play. It's a pretty good evolve effect as well, you know, recruiting 2 cards from your deck, putting them into play. It stacks off the effect of this card as well. I just realized that me going Windstorm there is gonna sound like I'm going insane to people who aren't familiar with that card from the standard Shadowverse packs. Wind God, 5.15. At the end of your turn, give +1 attack to all allied followers, I believe. And this is similar stat line and a similar effect, although what makes this, I think, a lot better than Wind God is the +1 defense. We saw with Alice how valuable that extra survivability is, getting you out of the flashpoints of removal, as well as just making more favorable trades for you in the long run as well. Having stuff survive to hit you in the face next turn is really good as it turns out. And the evolve effect as well, of course, like I said, working with this effect and getting stuff out of your deck, getting low impact cards out of your deck, making them better, and then leaving your deck full of better cards as well. Just seems like a pretty solid pick. Although Swordcraft does have a lot of legendaries now that are just solid cards, but they don't actually fit anywhere. We'll see if this makes it in, although I'm kind of optimistic about this one. I think this one is going to be cool. I'm definitely going to play around with it, that's for sure. I like it a lot. There you go, card review number 2 for the mini expansion of Omen of the 10. I'll probably get one final one in before the expansion releases proper. But that's it for this video. Like it if you did, don't if you didn't. Subscribe for more Shadowverse content in the very near future. Let me know what your thoughts are on these cards in the comments down below. Was I right? Was I wrong? What are your takes on it? Love to hear it. Of course, thank you to my wonderful patrons, patreon.com/Ignideus. If you'd like to support the channel as well, I would highly appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.